Toronto All-Star forward Chris Bosh expected to need weeks to recover from that facial fracture. Lauren Shahadi Kenberger, your NBA columnist, here with you. And that was a serious hit to the face by Anton Jamison's elbow. What's the very latest, Ken?
Well, he's going to miss. Chris Bosh is going to miss the rest of the regular season, and that could very well mean that there will be no playoffs for the Raptors. I really thought they were going to have a hard enough time getting in as it is. A half-game lead on Chicago heading into the final week here. And without their best player, really the guy they needed to carry them down the stretch, it's going to be very tough for them to get in. They have, after Thursday night when the Bulls play Cleveland, they each have 4 left. And you look at those games, arguably Chicago has the harder schedule, but with Bosh out, I think Toronto's going to have a hard time here.
It's going to be tough, like you said, but what does Toronto need to do to make that final push?
Well, they're going to have to get some big-time contributions, both in the rebounding area, which has hurt them all year, and obviously in the scoring department. And that's where perhaps Hedo Turkoglu, although he's been hit in the face also, is not as serious as Bosh. I don't know what's going on there in Toronto with people getting hit in the head, but they're going to need him to step up and do some of the things that they thought he would do when they signed him as a free agent this past summer to a $53 million contract. Turkoglu's been kind of a bystander in the Raptors offense for the most part. Hasn't gotten nearly the opportunities that he got in Orlando. And maybe this is a chance for Coach Jay Triano to fiddle around here, which you don't usually like to do late in the season, but when you have a situation like this, maybe put the ball in Turkoglu's hands more and let him do some of the things that he did in Orlando.
And speaking of free agency, Ken, Chris Bosh is there. Does this kind of wrap up his time up north?
It could very well. I mean, if they don't make the playoffs, it could very well be that he's played his last game in a Raptor uniform. The GMs around the league that I've talked to recently continue to believe that of the marquee, highly regarded free agents in this summer's class, and there are a lot of them, they believe that Bosh all along has been probably the most likely to seek a new destination this summer. For a lot of reasons, he's going to be in demand. For one, he's a terrific player. And the flip side of that is that from both sides, his end and the Raptors' end, things just really have not clicked the way both sides had hoped. He was not able to elevate that team, even with the addition of Turkoglu, and get them, to a playoff contending level, and a team that was going to advance deep into the postseason. It just hasn't happened there. And I would look for, regardless of the injury, I think this was going to be the case. I would look for a sign and trade situation being the best case for both sides. Bosh will get a fresh start somewhere else, and the Raptors won't lose him and get anything in return.
For Bosh, his face is expected to heal just fine. This doesn't affect his impending free agency at all, Ken?
I don't think so. I think this is a short-term injury, kind of a freak thing. It's not like a knee reconstruction or, something of that magnitude. This is something that he'll be able to shake off. And if somehow Toronto makes it into the playoffs, he could even come back and play at some point. So I don't think it's a long-term factor that way.
All right. If you are a Toronto fan, track him right here on CBSSports.com. For Ken Berger, I'm Lauren Shahadi. Until next time.